Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the color of the rain. You see coloring activity right here. As you see right here is I went ahead and drew right here is a raindrop right here, and then of course right here is a river, and of course now I went ahead and drew like what you call like you see got planet Earth right there. But then of course try to get through it within amount of time right here. But anyway that you have what I went ahead and drew right here is a example, say, of a rain droplet that if the rain were to come down. A lot of times, if most of us have seen whenever a rain droplet comes down, it is when it falls from say from some midair, from the sky. It goes into say a pool, or if it's wherever it goes if there's a few rain droplets, it is that lands on the ground, it is, and then goes into the river, or say maybe goes into leaf of flowers or something like that. But on here into the known about is that with the rain droplets, and people probably thinking about it, if they've seen it like what you call is like on cartoons, it's like you got right here, it's like rain droplets that look kind of like that right there. It's like type this spaghetti type look on them. It's like if it's all coming down within a certain angle, it is. And then from there, and then of course right say in front, it's like from where the rain could be coming down, it could be like what you call like maybe a tree or maybe a car or something like that. Go ahead and I'll go ahead and try to draw. Go ahead and see here if there was a car parked at about at this angle right here. But anyway, that a lot of us were probably thinking about that. But about where is the location? I'm like from whatever you're drawing it is. But I would probably say that that location for like a stream or water, it is. Maybe that some people probably say that maybe somewhere up there in Connecticut or maybe Arkansas or whatever, that this could be like what you call like you say that. Say maybe the Masconnais River or something like that. But anyway, that I not really predict a particular location. It is knowing about you got right here is a stream of water, a stream of water, and knowing about that the color of the rain. It is you see right here that I went ahead and drew that you got the stream of water. And a lot of people are probably thinking about that exactly about the rain. It is that you're probably thinking about that exactly know about where it comes from, it is, and of course about how it lands and everything, and from where it ought to go. And a lot of times we could probably thinking about just like normal spring water. It is. It's like that just look at it, it's just water out of the faucet. It is, and we could probably thinking about that really about how clean it is, and just knowing about exactly about where it comes from, because we could probably thinking about it's like with rainwater, it is that it's possible that it could have came from like what you call like the north southeast or something like that, say part of the continent, or maybe another, it could have came from out of state or something like that. And we can always think about it's like that. Yep, it's water. It's with water that the same thing as water. It's like knowing about that. Yeah, that, if you and if there's any type of harmless, and a lot of people probably thinking about like with color of the rain, is knowing about that if there's anything toxic about the water, it is if you want to use the water as like what you call like if you want to make any type of Kool-Aid or whatever you call it, spring water Kool-Aid, and or maybe go swim in it, or maybe take a bath in it, whatever it is that a lot of us were probably thinking about. That your water, your rainwater, actual spring water, if there's of course it could be anything what you call like anything toxic about the water, it is. And a lot of times probably say no, that with the rain, though, that we could probably think about when it comes down from the sky, that it say goes from reaching that certain temperature to where it evaporates, and of course goes into the air, goes say into the clouds, it is. And you say go ahead and use the crayon here, but go ahead, it goes from going into the clouds, and a lot of times I used to always wonder about that. That say if that's particular science is knowing about that if you see blue clouds, you say dark blue clouds, or of course it could be maybe a few yellow clouds. It is shiny green clouds, anything like that. And you used to always think that knowing about that when you see a lot of blue clouds, it's more likely that there's patches of rain, which you call. If most of us know what a sponge looks like whenever it's soaking wet, it is. A lot of us were probably thinking about with the sponge. Whenever you squeeze a sponge, it's knowing about that. If it starts changing color, the more it starts absorbing water, it is, and of course the more then the less water it gets, and then it starts going to like what you call like a lighter color between darker and lighter, it is. But on your hand too, that we could probably thinking about that all particular science, huh? And whenever I was in school, of course, they would do science experiments and stuff like that. But if I can remember right, that a lot of it had to do like what you call like the study about. It's like the desert, and then of course it's like the tropical rainforest. Those type of activities I can remember reading about. Of course, in the books it is, but just knowing about that. The types of things that you can maybe learn, they say about water, about a stream of water, and then of course about rainwater it is. And we could probably think about that exactly about where it comes from it is, and it's like it makes flowers grow, and then of course with the farmers it is. And a lot of times we could probably thinking about with rainwater it is. With rainwater that at the time that we could probably thinking about that whenever we get too much of it, and just knowing about that between rain and land, I'm like really that between drought season, if that were to come around the corner, and of course between flood season it is, and we could probably thinking about with flooding it is that a lot of times what do you call it whenever you have 8 years that the weather is fine, it rains fine, but then after about maybe 10 or 12 years that you have what you call is like we're not talking about maybe a few inches here, we're talking about a few feet, say a few yards of rain it is, maybe about 52 inches, 52 feet, they say about 52 feet altogether, that if there's a time to where we get a lot of rain, and then it starts flooding a stream it is, and then of course flooding a few creeks it is. And a lot of us would probably think about, really, what does it look like whenever you got the stream of water right here and it starts overflowing with water? Like does the water level rise up like this, or does it rise up like this, or does it rise up like this? And you got the waves right here. But on the other hand, we could probably think about as the rainwater is coming down, it starts gradually. You're probably thinking about the movement, I guess you say, with the movement, and then of course if you're going to have you say that if you're going to have water coming down, it is from different parts, say of the lake, say the stream of lake it is, and we could probably thinking about that with the water level going up, say gradually it is, and thinking about it, and then maybe you start having to where it starts flooding it is. But on the other hand too, that I really don't know. I'm sure that there is some type of gadget that you can buy nowadays in the store that we can actually measure about, knowing about that. If you actually look at the stream of water it is, if any of us will be located near a lake or near a pond or something like that, is anything that you can buy, maybe like a calculator where it would be able to tell you about how much the rain, if the water level goes above, this such and such percent it is knowing about, the type of danger that you could be in, like knowing about, is like if you had to move to higher ground it is. And a lot of times that I notice that on the National Weather Service it is, that just thinking about is like with the rainwater it is that a lot of us were probably thinking about with the rainwater, especially parts, they say if you had like what you call is like you say Cuba had about right here in Antarctica, but if you had what they reported like what you call is like a flash flood warning it is, and a lot of times people would probably thinking about that other than like what you call as typhoons, is the typhoons it is that hurricanes, with hurricane season, of course with flood seasons, it is that hey, you know, I'm at least 100 miles, or I'm at least 200 miles away from the Mississippi or the Missouri River. It is, and you know, there ain't going to be no flooding going on around here. It is, but we could probably think about that. Yeah, besides flood season, it is knowing about that with the most of the time, with say with the color of the rain, it is knowing about exactly for where the rain comes from. It is. And I could, you know, usually say that some people probably think about it comes from the sky, but on the other hand, too, that knowing about that, yeah, that you know, that you with that typical of science, it is just knowing about that with rainwater. It is that we could probably think I do the studying about the rain. It is. If the rain can move, then more likely, then maybe so can the flower, you know, so can the food. Yeah, you know, anything that I think about it, it's like kind of interesting the way it works. It is that knowing about that, yeah, with rainwater, it is that we could probably thinking about that with rain, you know, water's just water, you know. Water don't go around the world, of course. It's like water don't go around the world, but a lot of people probably thinking about that. Well, I guess in a lot of ways it does, because some people may say that, well, where does water come from exactly? Well, it comes from underground. You see right here, it operates the sewage, you know, the sewage. You say operating system right here. It operates by the sewage unit, the plumbing service right here. You got the water, you know, coming out at about right here. It is. Let's just say if this was like what's called the sewer line, about right here, the, you know, for the water and sewer, it is. And we could probably thinking about that with the water and sewer line, it is that, you know, you got right here is a lot, say some dirt right here. Hey, you know, it comes from underground, because of course with most of us, if we were to be doing plumbing work, it is. If we were to be doing any type of plumbing work, then the more likely we could probably thinking about that, yeah, that we go ahead and call a plumber if there's any type of problems or anything like that. But on the other hand, too, that knowing about with anybody will probably thinking about that, yeah, that it comes from underground. But really, I really think that the whole matter is like with water, with rain. Of course, with water, it is if it time where it don't rain at all, then I really just think that a lot of ways it comes from say the hard development and study and about knowing about, you know, that about reaching to the certain temperature, and then of course, you know, about that certain location, and of course with the water cycle. It's like we could probably think about with water purifiers, and of course with the water cycle, it's like about the study about what you know, how it, what it needs to do in order to be able to provide clean, fresh water. It is, of course, it operates our flushing systems, and of course with the wash machines, you know, stuff like that. But in a lot of ways, people probably thinking about, you know, really, you know, who would who invented what you call like the faucet? It was like, you know, if there was anybody would probably thinking about it, if there's any type of water faucet that you can operate online, it is, which I'm sure that there is a kind of water faucet, maybe more likely not drinkable, and it don't wash the dishes or nothing, but it's a type of water faucet that you can pretty much use. It's a water faucet that you can use. It's made for flushing out the files. You know, any internet files that you don't want saved on your computer anymore, go ahead and turn the knob, you know, counterclockwise. It is to go ahead and flush out the system, you know, from aggravating, you say, files or anything like that. Any files that you don't want saved on your computer anymore, you know, anything like that. And people probably say, okay, what's the name of the device? Oh, well, we could probably call it, it's like, you know, the color micro stream or something like that. It's like, you know, anything that cleans out your PC. It is from any old files. You could probably think about that. Could be what you call like an online water faucet that you can use. But on the other hand, too, that knowing about with like between the study about the faucet water and of course the color of the rain, it is, and we could probably thinking about that with the rain. It is each time it rains, people probably thinking about that, you know, oh, I am feeling sleepy. Like, oh, well, you know, I guess our outdoor plans are canceled right now because of the rain. It is, but on the other hand, too, that we could probably thinking about, about how much, about how many inches and how many quarters, say, you know, You say CMO measurements, you say of the rain, of course, that we more likely have gotten. If it's maybe if it's 2 cups, you say, of rain that came down. It is, and we could probably thinking about it. It's like maybe take a measurement and knowing about exactly about where it comes from. But on the other hand, too, just talking about it, it's like for the story, it's like we'd say, is color of the rain.